know what else is SB? Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
And that man has proved himself over and over again, even when he was on a team in New York, that he was able to produce and score touchdowns and gain yards. He did what, over 2,000 yards this season,
yeah.
and I want to say it was over 25 touchdowns that I saw that,
Mm,
and those numbers alone are just beautiful to see. So, do you think Saquon Barkley, the piece that they were missing to beat the Kansas City?
to be honest, no. As far as like with the Eagles, when you see them offensively, ever since Hurts became the starter, they've been a top 7 offense since then. So one of the biggest things that is going to be the key for this time around is the fact that on defense, that's where we have to see a major difference. In that Super Bowl, they scored enough points to win, but defensively, even though they did slow down Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid is such a great play caller to take advantage of some of the tendencies that the Eagles were doing. So that's going to be the real key is that you've seen where anytime you can beat Mahomes is when you got your linebackers. I mean, you got your linemen harassing him. He's not being able to make the plays, the spectacular plays. You gotta know what he ate for breakfast, man. Rough him
Yeah, you
up.
got to make him scramble.
Yeah. On top of that, oh man, the corner play that we had the previous year. I mean, top guy, James Bradbury. I mean, this guy turned into a New York Giant on the biggest stage. So you can't have that, especially for last year when the entire defense was just a leaky faucet until the dam broke. So this year, when you talk about the top defense in the league, way Fangio has these guys playing at a high level. It's beautiful, man. That's going to be the key. If you're going to stop Kansas City, you don't want to get in a shootout with these guys. You want to make sure that hey, the game dirty, get them scoring low. If you can do that, offenses offensively, you're gonna be able to put points up, but it's gonna keep you in the game regardless. So
All
defense
right.
was really more important than having Saquon.
All right. And that was a great
Makes sense because
preview.
they always say championships are won on defense.
Absolutely, man.
That
That
was a
was one of the
great
biggest things
preview.
we
A
saw this
great
year.
intro, guys. Thanks for that, Charlie Waffles. Cat and Hat here, AFC Eastie Boys, bringing you a wonderful and intense interview with a die-hard Eagles fan. I'm gonna let this man introduce himself. This man is a wonderful dude. As far as I know, he tries to convert all the Eagles fans. So go ahead, take it away.
How's it going, guys? My name is Bruce. Definitely thankful to be have the opportunity to talk sports with you guys. Just a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. I did my time when they were losing, and now things have been pretty good. They reward me faithfully. So like like I said, I try to tell everybody if you're on a bad team, come fly with us. You don't have to suffer, bro.
Fly Eagles fly. So what's your fondest memory? What's your fondest
Well,
memory as
that
an Eagles fan?
honest memory. Oh man, February 4th, 2017. That first Super Bowl, man. Going up against Tom Brady, the GOAT. This is a man that practically walks on water when it comes down to the football field. So everyone's doubting us. The season where we had our franchise quarterback, he gets hurt. Here comes the prodigal son, Nick Foles, as the backup, elevating everybody. And gets in a shootout and outduels Tom Brady. And of course, we get the Philly special. That's a great highlight. But my favorite highlight is when Brandon Graham gets the strip sack on Tom Brady. And that's when you feel like, wait a minute, we might be there. Because, when Tom Brady had the ball, game on the line, you already start coming up with, oh, man, this is why we lost.
Yeah,
When
he
that
made a
clock
lot of
finally
he
hit
made a lot of
zero,
teams nervous for sure.
oh, man, I was shaking like a tree at that point. I was like, I don't know, man. So that was definitely the fondest memory when he goes for the Hail Mary, the ball hits the ground. I look at the timer and it's all zeros. I'm like, wait, we won the Super Bowl. Well, they won. I watched, but that was
that's
just a great, great moment.
that's good. So you mentioned the Nick Foles thing. I'm glad that you mentioned that because like, what were your feelings the year after when like they dropped Nick Foles and went with Carson Wentz?
Well, number one, I was really happy for Nick because the thing is when you spend that type of draft capital to move up and get a guy who is your franchise quarterback, who was prior to the injury was in the running for MVP, that's who you have to go with. Like, we appreciate your services, Nick, for doing a great job getting us all the way and finishing the mission. But in that same season, if it wasn't for Carson Wentz helping them lock up the 1 seed, that was the only way that Nick Foles was able to come through, get the bye week to prepare, then get the extra the home games to then have to play for the Super Bowl. That was a big thing right there. So, because we accomplished the mission a different way doesn't mean you forget who's the people that got you there. So you have to go with the younger superstar quarterback. It didn't work out that well, but
Yeah, I mean,
but
it
another
turned
part
out
too.
it turned out to be the right move for you guys.
Oh yeah,
So
because even when they went over and I think it was Jacksonville that fired him, they gave him a big contract. I was like, who are you bidding against? But the thing is, you saw how hot he was in that Super Bowl. You forget when you get him, you're not getting Zach Ertz, you're not getting Alshon Jeffrey, you're not getting that elite O line. You're just getting him, and without the play caller, yeah, that turned into a busted mission for them.
so being a Dolphin fan, we had the dishonor of actually having like in between Vic Fangio last year. Like I was not a big fan of Vic Fangio, and like we've had our discussions throughout the year about him. Like as we've had our discussions about Nick Sirianni and how I'm like, oh, this guy is not a great coach, yada yada, and you stood behind him. You stood behind him and you backed him and you argued for him and you fought for him. What do you like? You were talking with Waffles about how the defense is the key to winning this. Go more into detail on that.
So one of the things that you don't want to do with Kansas City, you just cannot try to get in the shootout with these guys. What I love about when I look over Kansas City, what's the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that these guys don't beat themselves, man. Like they're the ones that down the stretch, their execution is flawless. You can literally see they've been here before. They seem to hit the right play at the right time. So if you have a leaky defense, that's when you're gonna get exposed, man. So when it comes down to Fangio, that's going to be a guy where number one, he has a lot of experience playing against Andy Reid. And I know people are going to bring up that record about how he hasn't been winning games against Andy Reid. But if you look at those games, his team's average 16 points per game. No, your team is not going to win a lot of games if you can't score more than 16 points. But it's going to be that chess match between him and Andy Reid of knowing their tendencies, knowing what they try to take advantage of, and just understanding that this is huge. You gotta stop them down early, take them out obvious run situations, and make them a high volume passing game. Because what they've been doing right now, they've been playing phenomenal complementary football. You gotta get them, try to turn them one dimensional. But it's gonna be real critical for that defense, man. And again, you gotta harass them.
Harass the heck out of him because Patrick Mahomes, man. If you give him too much time back there in that pocket to scramble around, he's gonna find a guy open. If he doesn't find a hole himself and like take it for 10, 15 yards, the first down, whatever they need. Before
That's the most annoying part.
the most annoying part. If you're enjoying it,
Him running with his legs.
make sure you hit that like and subscribe. This hat, we're doing this stream here. It's a donation stream. DCC Dolphins Challenge Cancer. The link is on the screen. If you want to make a donation, it's 100% tax deductible. Hit that link and go help cancer research. You got any?
And I do want to let Bruce know. I'm gonna flip it right side up so he can see it properly. This is gonna be shipped out to you, buddy, for your participation in today's event. Got your little Eagles ornament. See,
look
flip them around so you can see them right side up. That's for you, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so just link up with Cat in the Hat here and give him your information so I can send that out to you. Hopefully before this Christmas. You know what I mean?
Well, we all live
I
in this
appreciate
close vicinity, so we can make it happen. We can definitely make it happen.
Okay,
I'm
definitely.
excited for this because this is going to be a great match no matter what. Like you have the Kansas City Chiefs who are sitting here like they're so determined to win. Like Andy Reid, like everybody on this team right now, the main pieces on this team right now, if they win this game, it basically completes all of their legacies. Like it puts Patrick Mahomes right up there in the conversation with Tom Brady. It puts Andy Reid right up there in the conversation of greatest coach of all time. it completes the Travis Kelce legacy. He can go out and retire, you know, like go out on top, you know. So, like, it's going to be a tough game, man. And I don't know. The defense is going to have to come in hard. They're going to have to go in. They're going to have to pressure. They're going to have to keep that pressure on Patrick Mahomes, force some turnovers. They're definitely going to have to force some turnovers. What do you think, Waffles? You got some history questions for us? I wanted to test this guy.
I'm just hoping for a Patrick Mahomes couple interceptions, you know what I mean? I want to see a pick six go back against him. He doesn't throw a lot of them, so I'd like to see one on the biggest stage of all.
Yeah, I was
It'd
gonna
be a
say,
little embarrassing.
Patrick Mahomes does not throw interceptions in the playoffs, man. I hope the same thing with you as well, but
I got my fingers crossed, you know?
Did you watch that hype video I put out?
Yes.
When I clicked on it, it said there was a copyright going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, the NFL needs their piece of the pie.
Yeah, that's the way they do it. But like they have it, they do it. They let you put it out there and play it, and then, yeah, once I'm monetized, I just have to give them a piece of the pie. That's all. Or clip that section out of my video, because it's just like me clipping like highlights and things like that into the video. It's basically all it is. So if you don't alter the video quite enough, then like it gets hit. You know what I mean? But it has no effect on anything. But I'm getting better to where I'm keeping it cleaner and less like NFL like highlight material. But every once in a while, like that's what people want to see. They want to see highlights. Like I can't like make up too much stuff. Hold on. I had a few more questions. But you already hit on Barkley, Waffles. So, I think that was the difference. I think Barkley was a difference maker, to be honest, this year. This man went for over 2,000 yards rushing, over 2,200 scrimmage yards, which doesn't seem that impressive for how versatile Saquon Barkley is. Like that's like 150 receiving yards for the year. That seems a little low. Is that correct, or am I?
But at the same time, it opens up Jalen Hurts to throw deeper balls to other players because everybody's rushing in forward. Even the linebackers are pushing forward to find out if they're going to run the ball or not. They know they got to come hard if Saquon's actually getting it to stop him.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Derrick Henry effect over there in Baltimore for sure.
Exactly.
So Bruce, what would you say
that read option?
What would you say to a Chiefs fan right now if they were in the room with you, knowing that you guys are about to meet up on Sunday on the biggest stage of them all for the championship?
And the only thing you can say is may the best team win. That is it. Like on their side,
I'd say I bet you $5.
Hey, they should feel confident 100%. I mean, they're a team in dynasty mode. You know? That's why this is so great where we get the opportunity to not just win a Super Bowl, but to be the answer to the trivia question, who stopped the Chiefs from three-peating? This would be like, if you compare that to, let's say, the Giants stopping the undefeated season, it would be arguably the biggest Super Bowl upset of all time.
I agree.
Everyone's watching to see a three-peat.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, like as a Dolphin fan, I would argue against it, you know, because protecting the undefeated season for the Dolphins. But like as a non-Dolphin fan, I can agree with you on that. You know what I mean?
I got into a whole conversation with someone regarding that, and what the biggest thing about the three-peat that is huge is that I don't think anyone has ever been this close to it, and this is 3 years worth of stuff. Like undefeated one season.
Well, I mean, there's been a few.
It's only been done once.
There's been a few teams that have actually been close to it. The Patriots have been close to it. The Steelers have been close to it. Dallas was close to it. Like they all went like 2 in a row. They just could never get back to the third one. So
yeah. So you've never seen someone actually
make
on
it back.
The third one in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's why I started rooting for for the Chiefs, as soon as they lost to Buffalo, I was like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go three-peat. I want to see the three-peat. I'm rooting for it. It's going to be history. Like, it could be another 40 years before we get an opportunity for something like this. So, I mean, I feel for you, Bruce. I feel for you, but
I don't know about
But
20 years.
yeah, and I don't want to get greedy. I just got to focus about on Sunday. But when you look at this Eagles team, number one defense is also the youngest defense, all on their rookie contracts. Meanwhile, you have all your offensive players under contract for like the next 3 to 4 years. I mean, right now the Eagles are in this really nice window where you're gonna have the same team for the same foundation of the team the next couple of years. So this is if they could go ahead and win one. I mean, this is going to be a team that should be around. Like, even the fact that they're 2 years removed from the last Super Bowl appearance, they're showing that they're a true contender in the NFC. That they're going to be here every other year.
all right. So I'm glad that you started hitting on the young guys and the rookies because that leads into my next questions. So hypothetically, let's jump to next week. Scenarios: you win the Super Bowl. What does next year look like? You lose the Super Bowl. What does next year look like?
Really good question. Be honest, way next year looks, it wouldn't be any different compared to if you win or lose the Super Bowl. Because the reality is, the offseason you have to replenish. I mean, I remember where we lost the Super Bowl in 2017, and because of good dealing, they ended up getting Jalen Carter. They could have easily said, "Hey, we can go off and get someone else," but no. Let's fortify the defensive line. Let's get younger. Howie Roseman is a phenomenal general manager. Always thinking multiple moves ahead. Like, I could already look right now and say, "All right, a guy who's going to be a cap casualty, my man Darius Slay." It's not like he's just a little bit on the older side, but he understands his big contract. Factored in with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I mean, two young corners ready to take your spot. Now you can take that money and allocate it somewhere else in the salary cap. So that's the thing, man. It's an absolute blessing to have a great cap guy like Howie Roseman, where no matter whether win or lose, he's going to do his best to make the right decisions. This team is actually built up. If you go back at the last couple of years, I want to say like since 2021. If you see Howie Roseman drafted those first 3 rounds, these are all people who are contributing on this team. And the best part is, for pennies on the dollar compared to what other counterparts are making. So that's why this team has done a really good job under Howie, just building the team up. So whether they win or lose, he's just going to do his best to create an even better team for next year.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do you guys have anybody hitting the free agency at the end of this year? Any key pieces?
All pro linebacker Zach Braun, the guy who might be the defensive player of the year.
I've heard his name quite a few times this year. Yeah, that's going to be. You think they're going to lock him back down or what?
It's up to Howie. I know he wants to, but when you're an all pro, and you like the previous year, he was playing special teams in New Orleans. He tried to ask for a starting spot. They said, "Nah, you're for a special team." Signs a 1-year deal under Fangio with his amazing defensive line. He ends up becoming the defensive player of the year candidate. So this is your opportunity to cash in. So I could see a team I don't want to say, but they do have $96 million in cap space. If I'm them, Washington, I'd be calling up the Patriots as well. They have over $100 million in cap space. So these are the guys that can really make it different. Yeah, but we'd love to have them back. But you gotta do what's best for your family, man.
It's actually surprising how much like Washington Commanders are set up to go like set themselves up for success this next year. Like they have a lot of cap space. They have free agents. Like they have people into contracts that they don't have to pay yet. Only a few. Like it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, they're gonna be the team, in the future that still loses to us, on a regular basis, but. They're going to be a problem for everyone else, though, because you're right. They're set up beautifully. The best asset you can have is a franchise quarterback on a rookie scale contract.
For real.
That's when you get to splurge and build around them. So for the Washington, not just that, he's made Washington, especially with the new owner, cool to go to. people actually are interested. Like if I'm Washington, they want a free agency. I'm calling T. Higgins up. I'm saying, hey, come with the
Come
scary Terry,
play with
my man.
us.
Woo! Resign
Exactly.
Zach Ertz.
Exactly. But let's not get too far off track where we're talking about the Eagles
That's
here.
true. The birds.
Go Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let me hear your best fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh man, be on the spot there. Honestly, we really just said go birds more than fly eagles fly. Fly eagles fly is probably a super
All right,
casual fan, but you see somebody in the streets, you see them with the hat, the shirt. You may not know them out of no, but you just look at them and say, "Go birds." That's it.
go Birds.
It's not like that guy in Jacksonville with oh like nah, it doesn't sound like that.
Fins up.
That's I need to save you guys, bro.
Oh,
Mine's the worst, bro. It's like I literally have to spell my team's name like a fucking for
Jets.
Jets, and everybody be like, suck, and it's like, bro,
I
I
know,
know,
it's a
that, so
perfect
you don't have
setup.
to tell me.
It's the perfect setup. I know, man.
Oh man.
I just want to let you know,
I'm
Waffles,
used to it. It is what it is.
when the chant goes off in the stadium, I do not join in. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, you guys should come wear a different shade of green with me, guys. It's fun on this side.
I like the aqua and orange.
To be fair, I do own an Eagles jersey. I just did not wear it today.
I actually just added 2 aqua and orange fish to my pond today.
Yeah, I got a Matthews jersey.
Nice. Well, I would say let's do this in a Super Bowl against each other, but hang in there, fellas. Hang in there.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time to try to get that far.
We'll be there one
I
day.
can't even make the playoffs in the last 10 years.
I'll have a full head of white hair, and my beard will be completely white by that time.
Let me ask you guys something. Who do you think from each side, Philly and Kansas City, who would be the X factors on the offensive side to watch out for?
On the offensive side,
Obviously, Kelsey for Kansas City. You're gonna have to shut him down. Taylor Swift songs playing in the background. You know, just you gotta. Sorry, you just gotta shut him down completely. He can't be open. He can't be open behind your defense. He can't be open in front of your defense. He's just gotta be shut down. No catches. And on your side, I would say obviously Saquon Barkley. They're gonna have a rough time shutting him down and stopping him from gaining 15 plus yards on a carry. At least in my opinion.
For me, Kansas City, I gotta say Xavier Worthy. You're gonna have to watch out for him. They've drawn up a lot of different types of plays for him out of the backfield, out of slot, deep plays. Like, he's all over the field. You gotta watch that guy. He's gonna be the key to shutting down. Like, yeah, you're gonna need to shut down Travis Kelce, but that's gonna open up Xavier Worthy. But the way they're gonna use Xavier Worthy is like it's going to be a trick play. Like, he's going to get the sneak ball. Like, you're going to think it's going to Kelsey, but it was meant for Worthy. And then from the Eagles, obviously it's Barkley. Obviously. If I already put this out there, like, if Barkley hits over 100 yards, the Eagles win the Super Bowl. If Kansas City can hold Barkley to under 100 yards, Kansas City goes on and three-peats. And that's my take on it.
Don't say that.
That's my take on it.
I like both of you guys' takes. So when I was doing a little digging on these guys, for Kansas City, Andy Reid plays the long game, man. And to me, the X factor that a lot of people are sleeping on, DeAndre Hopkins. They are purposely not targeting him heavy right now to basically take the tape off of him as far as how he's going to be used. But knowing Andy Reid and how he goes in the Super Bowl, there's always this random guy that pops up out of nowhere. And when I realized, like, DeAndre Hopkins, not like he lost a step. They're not using him. And you're right. Are targeting coming up with a lot of plays for Xavier Worthy, and Kelsey's still Kelsey. But the guy that I feel not a lot of people are talking about is DeAndre Hopkins in his first Super Bowl, an opportunity to contribute for a championship. And he's a guy that you get caught sleeping. we know what he's capable of.
You got to look out for him in the red zone. I got a feeling he's gonna be in the back of the end zone waiting for something.
And that's the crazy part, because when I went through his game logs and saw where the few targets that he does have, where the targets are at, in the red zone. So
Every time.
Do not sleep on this guy. Xavier Worthy, the way they're using him is very creative. Also drawing attention, especially when they have him in motion and they can just hand the ball off to him. And that's going to make people, they're going to want to see how you're reacting to that jet motion. And you're going to try to put a good matchup for DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm not fooled by Andy. I know Andy so well from all of the times with the Eagles.
That man is smart.
Yeah, so come the Super Bowl, I'm telling you, you're going to see out of nowhere, if there's an X factor that can stand out and make it some plays for them in critical times. And I hope I'm wrong, but DeAndre Hopkins is someone you got to keep your eye on. For the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is the easy answer, but the other guy that I like to point out is Devontae Smith. So against Spagnola is actually pretty interesting, where those are some of his best games, where he's basically a shade under 100 yards per game against them in the last 3 games versus them. So when you talk about the things that you're gonna have to try to take away, if you're over here bringing people down for Saquon, I mean, listen. I know a lot of people have a good number 1 corner. Well, barely people have a good number 1 corner, to be honest. But if you got to worry about A.J. Brown, I don't think you have a guy who can stay in front of Devontae Smith. So that's a guy that, again, because they're running the ball so well, because they're targeting other players, sometimes he gets overlooked. This is a guy that could definitely put up some damage against them. Also, Dallas Goedert. If you look as far as this year, I was streaming tight ends against their defense, and that's been a very productive spot for weakness for them. So Dallas Goedert, who you can see has started coming alive since coming back from his injury, has great connection with Jalen Hurts, is basically like that outlet for him. That's going to be a nice place to attack him, especially if you bring in people to stack the box, you're gonna get you with Dallas right there. Those would be my 2 X factors.
I like that. I like that.
I like that. What about defense? Let's flip the script. I'm definitely going with Chris Jones for the Kansas City side. It's definitely going to be, he's going to have to bring that pressure on Jalen Hurts. He's going to have to interrupt the handoffs. He's going to have to get in there fast, whether he has to get in on Saquon Barkley or get in on Jalen Hurts to stop him from using his legs and disrupt it. Maybe get a fumble or 2. We'll see how that goes. Jalen Hurts is a little bit prone to being careless with the football back there. So, and then on the Eagles,
record, man only has 5 turnovers. So let's put some respect on my guy's name real quick. It's not like Dak Prescott out here fumbling and throwing picks all the time.
I can't say anything. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. He can't even stay on the field. So, and then
Chris Jones would. Oh, you're saying?
For the Philly side, I'm gonna have to go with your boy Jalen Carter there. Same thing.
So you pick Jalen Carter and Chris Jones?
Yeah.
So, on the Kansas City side, I'd have to go with Chris Jones as well. And it's not just because of how dynamic of a defender he is, also because when you look at right now with the Eagles offensive line, sure, they're elite, but I got Cam Jurgens, the starting center, with a bad back. I got Landon Dickerson with a bad knee. Both of them toughed it out in the NFC title game to lock this thing up. But if I'm a Shark, I see a little blood in the water right there. I definitely want to be putting a lot of pressure. Thank God these guys get 2 weeks off to prepare for the Super Bowl, because if it was in 1 week, they probably couldn't play. So if I'm them, that's going to be 2 targets I am going after to go ahead and disrupt the run game as well as the pass game by just harassing those 2 guys on the line.
And is that going to be the inside right or the inside left?
The inside. left.
Left. So the
Yeah.
blind side.
Yeah. So, and then feel better, my guy. Those guys were troopers, man. They fought to finish the job in against whatever their name, the Commanders. I had to think about it for a second there.
Yeah, y'all kind of dominated that game. Like, made the Commanders look like they were fakes for the whole season. The
Hey,
defense did
I
a
told
wonderful
everyone.
job. The defense did a wonderful
When I
job.
told everyone, telling you, when I told everyone what the score was, I said I think it was like 28 to 38-7. They're like, yo, you're predicting a blowout. There's no way. Everyone's picking Washington. That was a 31-point blowout I predicted. They blew them up by 32. I mean, come on now. We know our little brothers in the NFC East. Go sit down somewhere. Put the kids to bed. Now, when it comes down to the Eagles defense X factor, Jalen Carter's my guy, but the guy who really has been shining this postseason has definitely been Nolan Smith Jr. This guy, as far as hitting the edge, leading the postseason in sacks right now, and the speed that he brings to the table, the way he's able to bend around defenders, he's going to give their guards some problems over against Kansas City. So if he can have that impact, especially because with Jalen, he's a guy that commands a double team. So if you can go ahead and just get these one-on-one matchups, that's going to be something I think they could really take advantage of. And if he starts sacking them and starts, make sure the refs don't give any bad flags, I like our chances with that.
Waffles.
My Eagles X factor on defense would go to Reed Blankenship or interception.
Reed.
Safety. And then for Kansas City, I was going to go with Trent McDuffie. He's got 2 interceptions this season. Just those guys are going to be throwing the ball. I feel like it's going to turn into a shootout. Not that we want it to, because then it's like fighting for your life on every play. But at the same time, I got a feeling the defensive interceptions are what's going to be the game changer for this particular Super Bowl.
Okay, if it does get into a shootout, yeah.
Watch the picks, man.
I'd be careful waiting for interceptions, man. Both of these teams are very clean when it comes down to protecting the ball.
Especially in the playoffs, in the postseason.
Yeah, man. I think what?
That's what I'm saying. That's why those are going to be the shocking plays that no one expects. Random interception. Turn the tide, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we better shut them down, though. Stop the 3-peat.
That's the idea. That's the idea. Shut them down.
So, are you worried about the refs at all in this game? Like, do you buy into that whole agenda or anything?
So, honestly, I was never one of those people that was like, oh man, the refs are helping you out, especially with the whole Patriots era that we just got out of. But when you watch that game against Houston, you watch a couple other games where, man, it's one thing if it's a blatant call. Some of these calls, you're like, dude. For example, the one in Houston where out the pocket, he's dancing around, quickly takes a knee as 2 people lunge at him, and you get a 15-yard penalty. It's like, come on. Like, if you don't give yourself up like a quarterback, then there's no way we can just be out here giving away 15 yards. And the other one where it was like, I guess there was some head contact, so that one you're going to earn. But when you look at some of their games, man, they had a game-changing flag on a lot of them. That's what you just can't have. We lost a Super Bowl to that. They're going down. We stop them on 3rd down. We have like a little mini, barely a hold.
Yeah, they definitely need to figure something out to deal with this ref situation. The Chiefs fan that I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow, I've actually had quite a few conversations with him. We've discussed a few things. Like, I feel like they should, like, hire refs, like, legit. Like, that should be their full-time job. You have a couple centers around the U.S., where they're stationed at, so they can, like, man, like, different regions, and like they report Monday through Friday. They take tests. They like their job depends on how good they are. If you're not going to do that, why don't we start fining these refs? Like you fine players for stupid things like taking their helmets off and like throwing the ball in the wrong direction. It's like, why aren't we fining refs for making bad calls? You know what I mean? Like especially when they make such blatant bad calls like so often. You know what I mean?
I hear you on that. But I think some of the best thing that they can actually do right now is just start implementing more technology into the game, really help clean a lot of things up. Like for example, in tennis, look how when they do those instant replays, where they do like a 3D model, and they can show you because of there's a chip inside the ball, show you exactly where the ball landed. Why are we still determining if it was a first down by what these old guys have seen? You know, whether it went there. We saw against the Chiefs where Josh Allen tries to do the sneak, and you got two refs coming at two different spots to spot the ball. So, like, what is it that what would be better?
I mean, like, no, definitely for situations like that, the microchip is obviously the best choice because, like, for one, it's hard to determine when you have 12, 14, 16 guys piled up around the ball, like, oh, where did this thing land at? But if there's a chip in it, it tells you directly where the end of the ball is. Like, you just put a chip in each end of the ball, and it'll tell you where both of them are. So it's like, if it goes past, like, that's it. I'm meaning, like, bad calls. Like, should we resort to AI? Like, should we have, like, drones trained as referees that like call flags? Like, would it make it any better? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was really for like spotting the ball, but another thing that they could use would be just quicker use of replay to determine whether the call was good or not. Like that's something that they're going to be doing where it's going to be reviewable, but no, there should be a quicker way where maybe there's a ref on the side that has automatic the clips right there for them to quickly review and just be like, hey, that wasn't really a personal foul because the thing is these guys are doing their job. They're regular human error is real, but I can't expect you to be perfect. But if we have the ability to review things and we could do it quickly without stalling the game, why not clean it up to make sure that we do have the right calls being made?
That makes sense. But that's the only problem, the stalling the game that you mentioned, because that would stall the game. They would definitely have to figure out a way to make sure that's a speeded up process, because every time they challenge, most challenges last, what, 30 seconds to a minute, sometimes more. So it's like it can't be that type of situation where it's like it's adding another 25 to 30 seconds on to the in between.
So it wouldn't be like that. It would be just like when we get the replay, how quick is the replay? And where, let's say for example, you mentioned having a bunch of referees taking basically like a Monday through Friday class to prepare, right? So why not have someone where you're watching the replay and if you agree with the call, boom, they hit yes to confirm, because now they get to see it with the replay, compared to, all right, that's not a good call, click, give a signal, and then the refs down there would be like, okay, got it, take the flag up. So if you could come up with an operation where you just have an extra rep using replays to determine if that call is a good call or if it's not, learn how to do it very quick that way, instead of holding the game up. It's literally less than 10 seconds of, okay, yes, that I agree. At least you have the benefit of the instant replay. These guys watch it and it's bang bang. You can't see everything.
All right, so there you guys have it. There's another way that the NFL can handle the referee situation. We're going to be going in depth into the referee situation in the off season. We're going to be making a video. We're going to be putting out a couple different things that the NFL possibly could do to make it better for the fan base before the NFL fan base decides they're fed up with it and it scares some of them away. So make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe, because y'all ain't gonna want to miss that. Anything else you want to say? You got a message to your fellow Eagle fans out there? You want to let them know what's up? Sunday's coming. Judgment Day.
They already They already know what's up, man. This is literally opportunity. This is Rocky 2. No, we faced these guys already. Now, do the work, be prepared. Now you have the opportunity for redemption. This is where you get to put your mark in history. You can't ask for a bigger opportunity, man. The whole time, every round, everyone was picking against the Chiefs because they didn't want the three-peat to happen. I kept saying, if we're gonna win the Super Bowl to become the man, you got to beat the man.
That's right.
I wanted this matchup, so this is a huge opportunity for us. You can't ask for a better scenario, man. You can't ask for a better scenario. So this is just an opportunity where let's go get this ring, man.
All right, you got any bets here? You got any like prop bets or anything you're betting on? What's your
I
score
haven't
prediction?
looked into that yet. Honestly, I had throughout this entire playoff run, I haven't done any betting on my own team. I guess that's why I've been enjoying it with
Should probably keep it that way.
Enjoying it without the fear.
Yeah, you should probably keep it that way. But I know you got a
Yeah.
score prediction. What's your score prediction?
Oh man, score prediction is 38-20.
38 to 20.
38-20, man. Find a good way to attack these guys on offense. Defense. It's hard to score 20 points on Philadelphia, man. It's tough. So
20
the other
points. That
part,
means
too,
Vic
if you don't want a
Fangio.
close game,
That means Vic Fangio had them
Fangio?
boys out there hustling. If they only score 20 points, Vic Fangio got them boys hustling.
I'm telling you, man. If you look at this league, entire season, a lot of people are trying to say, "Oh, well, this Eagles defense wasn't tested." I saw what they did against Joe Burrow. I saw what they did against Lamar Jackson. I saw what they did against Stafford. I saw what they did against a lot of high-scoring teams. And if you take away those garbage touchdowns at the very end, where they try to make it competitive, a lot of like multiple score wins, man. This Eagles defense is suffocating. So if they can go ahead and have that good game, and just again, Eagles offense, there's a lot of problems to solve. I will say Spagnuolo is an amazing defensive coach. The way that he brings exotic blitzes, the way that he disguises his coverage. I was watching this video where they were explaining where you can see how he'll start off in a certain coverage, like he'll make it look like it's cover two. At the time that you snap, you're drifting the entire time pre-snap to where you finally hike the ball. Boom! Now they're in like cover three or the cover one. It's so creative the way they're able to disguise that. But this is where Jalen has to, when it comes down to the pass game, this is where you're going to find out whether you watched a lot of film to go ahead and decipher the coverage, decipher the blitz. What are you prepared for? So the other part for me that is just a little bit, I'll say I'm a little concerned on, is what I've seen from the game. I went through Kellen Moore's history of playing against Spagnuolo, whether it was with the Cowboys as well as with the Chargers. I don't like to look too much into the Chargers because they were a mess from the jump, but saw a lot of low-scoring games from Kellen Moore. So I'm thinking, hey man, you better tighten that up, you better clean that up if you're going up against Spagnuolo this Sunday. But I think the average was like less than 13 points per game. So you got to call the right game. Also, the Eagles' offense, especially Jalen, got to be able to be prepared for those exotic blitzes in the way that he's going to be disguising the coverage. So if they can be ready on that and really dominate with the run game and just start and have those plays on the perimeter that force them, like make them try to pick their poison. And guess what? With Philly, you can't take away everything. They're going to find ways to take advantage of you. Keep the ball clean. Don't turn it over. If they do that, they should be able to take care of this with a multiple score win.
All right, you somewhat sold me on the game. I'm definitely excited for a good game in New Orleans. New Orleans! It's going to be a good game in the Caesar Superdome for sure. Next Sunday. I can't wait. It's going to be a game for the history books for sure. Because if either side wins, I mean, it's just, like I said, if Kansas City wins, a lot of them staple themselves into history. If the Eagles win, they themselves will staple themselves into history. Saquon Barkley finally gets himself a ring. Jalen Hurts be able to get himself a ring. Nick Sirianni proved that he's a good coach and he can get all them haters off of his back after going to the Super Bowl twice in the first 4 years being on the team. Go ahead, take it away.
Wait, for the record, though, it's already proven he's a great coach. Get the win loss record. You can't just put everything right on. Hey, did he win a Super Bowl? Super Bowl's a cherry on top. But I see a lot of people with their coaches who would love to have these problems of winning all these games
No,
or playoff appearances, 2 NFC titles, 2 division titles, come on, 2 conference titles. Nick, my guy right there.
not taking nothing away from him for sure. He's just kind of like he's got that Trump vibe. You know what I mean? Sometimes he just does things he shouldn't be doing. You can do a good job, but like just sometimes.
And that's the irony is where it rubs the other fan bases who are not Eagles fans the wrong way. But the thing is, he's acting like an Eagle fan.
Yeah,
That's the hilarious.
True.
That's why we love him, man. We
hey,
love him.
that's true. That's true. So I've had a really good time. This was great. We definitely got to do this again sometime. I'm guessing you're going Eagles on this one.
Come on. Fill the prophecy. Finish the story.
It's definitely been great. Don't forget, guys, we got the link up in the corner of the video. Hit that if you want to donate to the Cancer Research Center. 100% tax deductible. This was Bruce, Cat and Hat, AFC Eastie Boys. Do you got anything you got any shout outs? Anybody you want to shout out or anything before we get out of here?
Go Birds.
Go Birds. He's a man of business. All business. Alright, everybody. Peace out. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe. Got lots of videos coming out for y'all.